Garen can get up to 90% tenacity while just having Mercury treads and no other item, and this is due to his W. In case you don't know, Garen's W gives him a shield, and it also gives him tenacity for the first 0.75 seconds of the ability being cast. It is also in a unique tenacity group. Let me explain what I mean by this. There are 3 different types of tenacity groups: Group A, B, and C. Every single purchasable item in the game that gives tenacity is in Group A, alongside the 10% tenacity and slow resist rune shard, and the Chemtech dragon, which also gives a bit of tenacity. This is important to know because if you have multiple sources of tenacity from the same group, they will be added multiplicatively. So for example, if you buy Mercury Treads, which gives you 30% tenacity, and then you buy Sterac's Gauge, which gives you 20, you're not going to get 50% tenacity because it is from the same tenacity group, so it's going to stack multiplicatively. However, if you get tenacity from something like Garen's W, which is in Group C, it will be additive with your extra tenacity. Meaning, if you have Mercury Treads and activate Garen's W, you will go all the way to 90% tenacity. This seems like overkill to go all the way to 90% tenacity, but this is actually really good into very heavy CC comps, or even to counter certain champions. You will reduce essentially every single crowd control in the entire game to the minimum amount of CC that you can take, which is 0.3 seconds. Even if you happen to have 100% tenacity, every single crowd control in the game will still last at least 0.3 seconds, whether it be a soft CC like a slow or a hard CC like a stun. The only way you don't get CC'd at all is if you have the CC immune status effect like on an Olaf ultimate. As an example, I decided to do a test against Morgana. She's going to throw out her Q and you will see the different CC timers. At first it's just going to be her Q normally, then seeing the reduction once I get Mercury Treads. The next one would be just me pressing Garen W with no Mercury Treads, and the final one would be the combination of both Garen W and Mercury Treads. Aside from the very last showing of having my W and Mercs on, the timers seem really weird. Like for example, the very first Q that Morgana throws out when I have no tenacity is 3.13 seconds, even though it should be a flat 3 seconds. And I can assure you, I did not mistime it. The way I started and ended the timer was going frame by frame and seeing exactly when I get hit by the Morgana Q, and that's when I started the timer. And then I stopped the timer the very next frame that the Morgana Q debuff on my character disappeared. It could have something to do with the server tick rate, but I'm not 100% sure.